Hello, everyone. Today we're going to have a look at the book, The Externalisation of the Hierarchy by Alice Bailey, which is an occultist. She refers to, in her book, she refers to the works of Elena Blavatsky and Secret Doctrines. And so she mixes up a whole bunch of occult teachings, such as, a different version of Christ, Lucifer, which is referred to here as the Great One. They mix up Christ and Lucifer quite a bit, and we're going to have a look at this work because I believe it has something to do with the current environment that we're living in. And so let's start this one. So on the first page, on the first page that I notice, page 76, it says that the great invocation needs to be done for the Great One. Of course, the great invocation is a kind of prayer to the enlightening ones and so forth. And so it's a kind of prayer to Lucifer. And so here in page 148, it's interesting. It says, the new era is coming, the new ideal, a new civilization, a new mode of life, a new education, a new religious presentation and of government are slowly precipitating and can stop them. They can, however, be delayed by a reactionary type of people, by ultra-conservative and closed minds, and by those who cling with adamant determination to their beloved theory, their dreams and vision, their interpretation of their particular and of a narrow understanding of the present idea. Of course, it's all planned. It's been planned for nearly 100 years now, and they planned this to unfold in 2025. And of course, all of this, ultra-conservatives are Christians, Bible-believing Christians, right? And so it's our beloved theory that basically that for the last 2,000 years, the Christian era has been dominating the entire planet, in particular since the United States was founded in 1776, and the great idea of liberty and of liberty of conscience and of Protestantism, of course. But they are at war with this, right? And so let's continue. They are the ones who can and do hold back the hour of liberation. So they admit that Christianity is an enemy. And so she's talking, of course, of Bible-believing Christianity. And of course, Elena Blavatsky in her Secret Doctrine says that the two purposes of Masonry or secret societies is to destroy Christianity and to prepare the coming of Lucifer. Let's continue. Spiritual fluidity, a willingness to let preconceived idea and ideals go, as well as beloved tendencies, cultivated habit, and so on and so forth. Look at the last few words. These must all be brought under the power of death. So they want to kill us. They will kill us. The ultra-conservatives, the closed minds, they call us. Of course, they are talking about the Bible-believing Christians, which I found interesting. So, talking about their dates that they have, let's read on. I have made a practical application and this immediate illustration of teaching glamour illustration in Maya because the whole world problem has reached a crisis today, and because its clarification will be the outstanding theme of all progress, education, religious, and economic until 2025. And thus, a great and new movement is proceeding, and a tremendously increased interplay and interaction is in place. This will go on until 2025. During the year intervening between now and then, very great changes will take place, and a great General Assembly of the hierarchy, held as usual every century, in 2025, the date, in all probability, will be set for the first stage of the externalization of the hierarchy. So the externalization of the hierarchy is nothing else than, mixing Christianity with occultism, and those guys they will show themselves as the great occultists that they are, and probably they're planning in 2025. We can see similar statements in page 299. Let's read on. The great approach is how they call this. The great approach will become inevitable, and the great release will automatically follow. Now, the great release is probably what's going to take place in 2025. The great release is the emancipation, if you would, of the world into this cosmic ideas, this occult teachings, in which they are praying with their prayer there, the great one, Lucifer, to appear. And so, let's read on. I would finally have you realize that in the work now being done, and as a great result of the great approach, you can aid in the focusing and anchoring of the new world religion. Now, isn't it the Pope is trying, as effectively up to the date of 2017, united all the religions of the world, right? That universal religion, which will be found on all the paths, which will consummate the work of the Christ, and which will open up a fresh stress upon the path of life which leads to God. Of course, these lights that they are talking about is very similar to the speech of George H.W. Bush, his 1,000 points of lights he called, right? This is the New World Order. Let's read on. Okay, I would finally have you realize that in the work now being done, and as a result of the great approach, you can aid in the focusing and entering of this new world religion. This new form of one religion will be, in fact, the religion of the great approach. The new religion will be one of invocation and evocation, to bring together great spiritual energies and stepping them down for the benefiting of the assimilation of the masses. The work of the new religion will be distribution of spiritual energy and the protecting of the human form, energy, and force which they are not at a particular time fitted to receive. So they need to prepare us for that. I would have you therefore add to your mental and spiritual activity the recognition that you are participating in a task of anchoring the basic tenets of a new world religion, the flower and fruition of the past and the hope of the future, right? So they're all doing this in secret. Look at where they're taking their so-called lights. In the spoken of a spiritual hierarchy as the abode of light, as the center where the master of wisdom are to be found, as the Great White Lodge. So the White Lodge is the place where these guys are ruling from. Now they're Freemasons, right? And you can read in their writings what they are, all about. Their ritual sacrifice of Aleister Crowley, their Lucifer is God from Helena Blavatsky and so forth. And Albert Pike, of course, who wants to destroy the entire world with 3 World War. And then let's read on. The time is coming where all 3 festivals, so right, they're talking about, the chakra, I don't remember exactly the term, but they have all these names for those festivals, and one of them is, in April. It's the three festivals are the full moons of April, May, June's, and they're talking there about Easter, which is at the center of it, and the Easter, of course, they're not talking about the Passover. They're talking about the pagan Easter, and it's all Catholic teaching, right? So Freemasonry is and Catholicism is basically the same pagan religion, same festivals, same everything, right? And will be kept simultaneously throughout the world, and by their means, a great spiritual unity will be achieved, and the effect of the great approach so close to us at this time will be stabilized by the united invocation of humanity throughout the planet. So the invocation is a satanic prayer, basically. I haven't not put it on here on the presentation because, a satanic prayer I don't think is really useful for you to know. This saving force, this energy, she's talking about the nuclear energy, which science has released into the world for the destruction, first of all, of those who continue, if they not, to defy the forces of light working through the United Nations. And so she's talking about here the Second World War, right? She was living, Alice Bailey, during the Second World War, and she basically in her presentation there you can really do some kind of, how can you put this? You can really do some kind of parallel between the nuclear energy, the atomic bomb that she's talking about here in this sentence there, and the vaccination currently going on, where, if you confront the forces of light working through the United Nations, which is the case right now, the vaccination is all being pushed through the WHO, which is an organ of the United Nations. The United Nations has implicated or integrated all the teachings of Alice Bailey. If you read the book in the complete book, you'll see that all of the acceptance and love and the great acceptance, it can be linked with the LGBTQ phenomenon we are living under right now, and they call that love and acceptance and peace and so forth. That's what they call it. And so it's all through the United Nations that those stuff are going on. Let's read on. We shall then enter upon 3 years of excessive endeavor and effort to hasten the coming and to prepare mankind for the great day of opportunity. You who know of these times and can interpret them all aright in the light of the illuminated intuition must unite together for a rendering of service and of helping the brotherhood of which Christ is the divine leader, and which the masters, the initiate, the disciple, the aspirants, and all the workings of living organism on physical plane. Now, here, it's really, they're not talking about the Christ of the Bible. They're talking about their secret Christ, that only them, the initiates, they know, right? They no other body of man except the Masons know the truth. They're so stupid when you think about it. The thing that all these secrets are all it's so dumb. But they do believe that, and they run the world. So it's only a matter of exposing what they're thinking and what their writings are saying about themselves. So this is how they consider you. So let's move on here. That the manifold divisions of the Protestant Church be bridged is imperative. So she's talking about the Catholics and various kinds of Christians. If none of these things happen, humanity is headed toward a religious war which will make the past war appear like child's play. Antagonism and hatred will embroil the entire population, and the politicians of all the nations will take full advantage of the situation to precipitate a war which may well prove the end of humanity. So this is really the founding, if you would, the foundation of the United Nations is to prevent war. And she's explaining here what's the problem, really. And they want to bring all the Protestants, the Protestants are the real problem in the world, according to her, and according also to Henry Kissinger in his book World Order, page 20. You will see that he thinks exactly the same, that he says that the two swords could not be united because of the Protestant Reformation, and the two swords are the empire is the first sword, and the second sword is the Pope. And so what the Pope has done during the last few decades is to unite all the churches under him, right? And now the Protestant churches are all under the authority of the Pope of Rome. And this plan has been accomplished, right? So it was the plan there to be accomplished for their implementation strategy to function. Let's move on. Okay. When the Great One comes with his disciples and initiates, we shall have the restoration of the mysteries and their exoteric presentation as a consequence of the first initiation. Our objective is to helping of the great ones and the rending of to them of that intelligent assistance which will make their plan for humanity materialize. So, the great ones is most likely the fallen angels, I believe. Maybe it includes also the initiates, as she says a little earlier. But she's also clearly saying that they want to restore the mysteries. So the mystery schools are the Babylonian, the Babylonian religion of the Catholic Church, basically, because this is what it is. And all the Masons and all the analysis that they do of the Egyptian empire is exactly the same thing as the Babylonian Empire, and their gods are the same. They only change names. And so this is clearly what they want to implement for us when the Great One comes. So believe it's going to be probably within a couple years, because they are talking about 2025 as their goal year. And so the great invocation, the great one, the great approach, the great release by 2025. Do you believe it has anything to do with the great reset for 2030, which I also call the sustainable development goal for 2030? It is strange that those dates and those vocabulary, great, and how we have a great reset going on, don't you think? Let's expose this for what it is. Okay, guys, so God bless you, and see you next time.